Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Movie Madness, the show where I take a movie and you know what. This is a very special episode of Movie Madness, should I say actually. I'm going to give this a special episode. As many as you know today, I suppose you could call it Happy Back to the Future Day. Now I'm a big lover, like many, I think Back to the Future is one of the most beloved franchises. And not just movie fans, for anybody, even people that aren't movie fans, that, you know, the non-gore movie fans that just watch movies the odd time. Now, I must tell you that I love Back to the Future. I've had it not only in VHS, I've had it in the VHS trilogy that was released way back in 2003, I think it was, maybe 2004. Then I had it in DVD when it first got released. They released it in DVD and VHS. Then I had it on a special edition release of 4 discs on DVD, and I think that was it until I got the Blu-ray edition. I've got the first release of the Blu-ray, and I don't think I'll go for the new one that came out, unfortunately. So I'm basically going to break down a quick, simple episode. Well, not a wee bit longer probably, and it's going to be the Back to the Future trilogy, all 3 movies. I just think it's a lot easier to do. I'm going to do all 3 movies because it's Back to the Future Day, I suppose. It's easier to do it that way than rather just doing it 1, 2, and 3 in individual. So I'll just do the trilogy. And so the first of many, as you know, is of course the first Back to the Future, the original, 1985, so 30 years ago. And as you can see, I've got this boy out for you. I got this guy about over a month ago now. If you haven't seen that video, Hot Toys, you can check it out. I'll leave a link for you up there, or pop up down there, or something like that. A link or probably underneath. For you guys to check that out and my review about that video. So yeah, this guy, I wouldn't normally have my Hot Toys out on my Movie Madness video, but because it's a special Back to the Future, I haven't got any Back to the Future posters that I wanted. There was one I did want to go for. I never ended up getting it for some strange reason. Other things were important. And so this is the Back to the Future Hot Toy, and I would love to get a dock, but I don't know if they're making docks. I know they are releasing a Back to the Future Part 2 figure, which would be pretty amazing if they release it tomorrow. I think that would be pretty good. I've only seen the prototype, and that was at Comic Con when they released the pictures, images of that at Comic Con. So anyway, I've got the Marty out for you. You can see him from that angle. If you're not, you can get a closer look in the video anyway, guys. Don't worry about it. So the first Back to the Future, definitely the classic. The classic story. I mean, they're all, even though the 2 and 3 were shot back to back a little later on, sort of nearly 4 or 5 year gap in between the first film, they all tie in. I mean, I've recently watched these movies back to back with my pal well over a month ago, and not even only that, I even watched them myself again, 3 of them back to back, and I'm considering watching the first one today. I'll say today, later on today, tonight on the Back to the Future Day, and maybe watch 1, 2, possibly 3. I'd love to get 3 of them put in. But definitely, guys, it is Back to the Future Day, so I recommend some of you try and watch it somehow. I think that the reason this movie, or these movies, are successful is because it's got great characters, you know, great stories. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but still has a kind of a decent explanation for certain things in it, and it doesn't go off the rails. Because apparently time travel movies don't really work. Do you know what I mean? They can be, you know, in the case of Bill and Ted's a good movie, time travelling to get these historical figures. but then they can go off themselves. Do you know what I mean? And not only that, there's some time movies, especially going forward in time. I mean, we're in 2015. We're in Wednesday the 21st. Wednesday to October 21st, 2015, which is, of course, Back to the Future Part 3. And in Back to the Future Part 3, we're supposed to be wearing, you know, funny looking clothes and hoverboards and phones that are on our faces. And I've been watching a lot of YouTube, Facebook videos that are on Facebook. There's a lot of Back to the Future hype going about, so I thought this is the time to just do this video, especially since I'm doing this Movie Madness series. What best time to... I knew I was going to come to this movie at some point, and what best way to come to this movie is on the day. And why not do all three? Make a trilogy, do the trilogy, and talk about them. And I'm basically going to say, first movie was great in terms of going back the way. Obviously giving us the DeLorean. Obviously they didn't expect to go and do 2 and 3. They did it as a kind of one-off, and didn't realise that the popularity yeah, you know what I'm talking about, of the movie, and how much it would make. So definitely a huge success, big blockbuster, and one of my key things, I think it's because it's like comedy, you know, it's family friendly, it's entertaining, you can watch it at any age. I mean, even today it doesn't grow old. Back to the Future, we're not going to have hoverboards. We've established that, and the boards that we've got, that they're calling hoverboards, have got wheels at the side of them, so they're not hoverboards. And so we've not got them. We've not got flying cars. So there are certain things in the second movie that I would have loved to have seen, and I've seen a lot of. Definitely, I mean, should I say this year, especially in the last year as well, Hot Toys announced they were doing Back to the Future, so that's, you know, we're getting a lot of that. We're getting a lot of merchandise of Back to the Future just because it's that special year. So the film's actually grown successfully recently in the last year. It's always been big, but really, you know, there's a pub or a bar in the town next to me, just about 10 minutes away from me drive, and they're going to be playing the movie tomorrow night. I don't know if that's 1, 2 and 3, but they're going to be playing Back to the Future, and the cinemas are going to be playing the whole trilogy, so it's the best time to talk about it. And I've recently got Marty McFly, and I'm proud of him. It is probably one of my favourite Hot Toys at the moment. Just in terms of, you know, I never thought one day they would be releasing Back to the Future figures. Do you know what I mean? You don't think, you know, it's not. It wasn't really something I thought that people would be interested in getting Marty McFlys and stuff like that, but they are. And of course, the Blu-ray gets released so many times in many different versions. You know, I was humming and hawing about getting it, but is it just an extra disc with some extra special features, with what, 3, 4 new extras, special features? You know, is it worth it? Maybe not right now. Maybe at some point I will pick it up. And especially Back to the Future Part 3 as well, not to forget. In all its glory, you know, they really, if you watch them back to a trilogy, you really get, you know, you feel like they planned this, and they really hadn't. They really had no plan, because they didn't plan to put in the girlfriend into the DeLorean on the first movie and set them off, which obviously became the central point for the second movie. So they didn't plan that. Now they had to change her because the other actress had commitments or something, and or wasn't acting or something like that, and they couldn't get her back, and so they changed her from that actress that was in Adventures in Babysitting, or some people might know the movie as A Night in the Town. They changed it to her. So even in the second movie, you know, you see wee things like Biff Tannen. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's wee hints to him, and that's Biff's great grandfather, which we will see in the third movie. And so there's always wee hints, and then even when you're in the third movie, there's always the wee things that they'll say that were said back, or you know, in the second movie. So it's almost like the three of them tie in, and you know, there was talks about fourth movie and all that kind of thing, and I look at Michael J. Fox, and it's a shame that the condition he's in. I watch a lot of his interviews, and it's a shame. I guess that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to get the hot toy of him, because I know some of the money goes to these actors through the hot toy, with the likeness look like and all that, the lookalike rights, and I know that they get some of the money, so why not? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I like Michael J. Fox. I think he's a really good actor. It's a shame what happened to him. My grandpa's got Parkinson's. I mean, it could run in the family. I could get it. So you know, it's not funny. It's a shame, because I watched him in his interview, especially that Comic Con. I think it was a London Comic Con interview that he did, and you know, it's just a shame to see him like that. But you know, he's still with us and stuff, and he's still pulling through. So you know, I hope he finds what he's wanting to find, and try and find, if he can find a cure for it, that'd be great. So back to the movies, Back to the Future. They're my favourite movies. First one, of course, but then this is a trilogy, kind of like the you know, the Star Wars trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy, not the prequels, where every movie is great. You know, obviously you have that one that you'd say is strongest. It's either, you know, so it's either the second one for a lot of people is the strongest, but I just say they're all great. So I'd say all three, you know, are equal. So definitely, I don't know what else to say about this movie. They're one of my favourite movies ever made. Always will be. You know, I grew up with Back to the Future, but I grew up with it in such a way that it was always on telly. So I never owned it at a very young age. I grew up with it. I'd flick it over, and I'd always see that end bit where he's running towards where, you know, they've got rid of the car, and it's either the beginning of the first movie or the end part of the first movie, and it really, I remember watching it years ago, and when you're younger and you don't understand it very much, it gets quite a lot of things to follow, but the more you get older, you can follow it a wee bit better. Classic. I've always wanted the poster. I should go and get that poster. I had it up there in the background there, because I'm thinking about trying to decorate this movie room of mine. Try and make it a wee bit more of a movie room, and get some of my posters up. And I would like some movie posters framed that I want. Back to the Future is one of them. I'd love a Star Wars poster, maybe an Indiana Jones or something like that. Get a wee feel of my. I love 80s movies. Love them. Yeah, I've got a fondness for them. There'll always be ones that I'll talk about, that I'll give you in the next weeks or so, that I'll always love. And Back to the Future trilogies is definitely one of them. And so, I mean, that's all I can really say about the movies, guys. First, second and third are close to my heart as anything. There's parts in the, you know, there's a train part in the third one that I love. I love that train part. You know, there's wee sayings and quotes that sticks with you with the movies, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people would know them, Calvin Klein, you know what I mean, and things like that. You know, heavy, you know, why is everything so heavy in the future? There's a problem with the gravitational pull, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of quotes that people know from these movies. And I seen this funny video on Facebook, and it was like, I put it on my Facebook page, and it was basically like, the real Back to the Future, or the real, you know, so because it's 2015, it shows you the scene where he flings a hoverboard onto the ground, and the hoverboard just sort of floats there. There's a split screen. It shows you today's some guy flinging his hoverboard on the ground, just like flops to the ground, doesn't even hover. He sort of jumps on it, flies off, and he sort of jumps on it and falls to the other side, doesn't even go anywhere. He's sort of like, you know, doing that with the ground, and it's just not moving. There's other things like, you know, the wee pizza going into the microwave, and then, you know, bubbling up and making a big pizza. His pizza just comes out the normal the same size and breaks up to little tiny wee parts. And you know, things like the thumbprint with the door handle opening, you're still using handles. The cars aren't flying. There's still people cycling and bikes. The reality of 2015, you know, it's funny to see it, you know. It's funny to see it. So whoever made that video is, if I can find it on YouTube, I'll leave a link for it down below so you can see it, guys, on this video.